Hey, what's up, YouTube? So I want to do a review on this firearm. It's a Ruger max-9 California edition. It's my first YouTube video, so excuse my dogs in the back, but this is the California model 10+1 magazines. And I just want to do a review because I bought this firearm maybe 3 weeks ago or so. And I was looking for YouTube videos and I didn't find much YouTube videos out there with the California model review. So it's fairly new to the roster. So I picked one up. So yeah, I really like this firearm actually. I've seen a lot of videos watched a lot of videos on YouTube where people talk about the trigger, that it moves a little bit. If you move it left and right, there's a little play in it. But I've shot probably about 1,500 rounds through this firearm, and I have not had not one malfunction at all. This firearm is very reliable. This is the one that has it's got the safety. It's got that front, the sight does not have since it's got a loaded chamber indicator, California, it doesn't have nowhere to mount an optic. Yeah, like I said, I've shot 1,500 rounds about through this firearm, not one malfunction. It's California compliant. Comes with these two magazines. One of them, you can stick a pen in here and change this flap to add some finger space. That way you have bigger arms. I like this one better with the extra space. See, your pinky rest somewhere, because if you use this one, I noticed if I use this magazine, my pinky's, it'll slide off. Forgot to show you guys though, firearm is cleared. There's no ammo nowhere near this table or anything, but it's safe. Yeah, like I said, this firearm has been very reliable. It's a small, I think it's a 3.1-inch barrel, not one malfunction. I've seen YouTube videos when people are shooting and they have a malfunction where the slide locks back, and I think I shot with a few buddies and they have that grip where you have your two thumbs forward. Fortunately, I'm left-handed. A lot of trainers, they teach that grip, thumbs forward. And, if you're right-handed and you have the thumbs forward, when the gun is recoiling, I'm guessing that they're hitting the slide lock. So I don't think it's anything on the firearms end. I think it's just the grip on the way you're holding it, So if you buy this firearm and you have that issue, just, look into modifying your grip, because I noticed their thumb rides the slide. And like I said, I'm left-handed, so I have not had this issue at all. I mean, there's no controls on this side, so not one issue at all with this firearm. Yeah, like I said, it's very, very reliable. In my opinion, I have not had one malfunction. It's a 10+1, comes with two magazines. I love this firearm. The way it fits in my hand with this extended magazine, it's perfect, I've seen videos of people upgrading the trigger, but it's not on the California model. The California model has a safety disconnect, which you can remove. Some people have removed it and they changed the trigger out and stuff, but since this is going to be a carry gun for me, I haven't, I don't like messing with my guns, especially my carry guns, changing out the trigger and, been told that it affects reliability. I mean, I thought about it right when I got it out of the box. I told myself, I'm going to change the trigger. I'm going to get this, find a way to mount an optic and X, Y, and Z, but I thought to myself, I mean, I've shot it 1,500 times. I have not had one issue with the trigger, If I'm not having any issues with it, I don't think there's a reason for me to mess with it, and You know, people are saying that when you try and shoot the gun, the trigger won't engage if you don't push on it. But I mean, if you push on it sideways like this, it's locked. You can't shoot it. Well, of course, this one has a magazine disconnect for starters. There we go. See, you can't. But I mean, this is a safety on here is made for you to push it in, then you can shoot it, you know? I see no point of why people say that the trigger's faulty. It's a little wobbly, you know, but if you use it what it's used for, you're supposed to put your finger over the trigger, you know, in my opinion. That's why this is there, you know. You're not supposed to push sideways on a trigger. That's not going to get you anywhere in a stressful situation, you know. I believe, you know, if you're going to shoot a firearm in self-defense, you got to be committed, you know. If you're not committed, what's the reason you're carrying a firearm, you know? You got to put that finger on the trigger and no issues, you know. But if you're shaking left and right and you're not committed, maybe not carry a firearm, you know, in the first place. But there should be no reason to push a trigger sideways. That's not going to get you, you know. It's not made for that. That's in my opinion, you know. And it is a little wobbly, a little play in it, but I haven't had no issues with it. You know, you press it. I'll show you guys the reset. It's not bad at all. Little take up there. Fire. There's the reset right there. I'm sure you guys heard it. See. Like I said, I mean, the trigger's not the best. I've owned a few firearms where the trigger's a lot better, but in my opinion, it's not bad at all. As long as you press the safety first, you'll be okay, you know. And I see no reason for somebody to push sideways first, you know. And also the grip, you know. Know a lot of trainers out here where I live, California. They train and they you know, they show people and tell them put thumbs forward. You know, I seen it works. I mean, you know, everybody has a different grip and whatever works for you works. But if you have a thumbs forward and they're a little too high, you might ride the slide if you're right-handed, you know. I let my buddy this firearm while we were at the range and watch him shoot, and he had that issue. He was riding you know, his thumbs were riding the slide. So it's nothing on Ruger's end, you know, just modify your grip and you'll be okay. But very reliable, you know. I was surprised. I thought it was, you know, it's inexpensive out here. I think I paid like $380 plus tax and drones, you know, probably like $410 out the door, $410 here in California. And like I said, I've shot quite a bit of rounds, and I usually when I buy new firearms, I go to the range often and I shoot, you know, twice a week, 200 rounds each time. So about 1,000 rounds, you know. Sometimes I go on the weekends, add another 200 rounds every weekend, and no malfunction at all, you know. It's very, very slim too for concealed carry. Here are the sights. Had no issues with the sights. There's one thing I don't like is this one's adjustable. And I noticed when it came out of the box, it needed a little adjustment. So I adjusted it to work for me, which the reason I don't like that is because of most firearms that I own, a lot of firearms that I own, they're not adjustable here on the rear sight. Most of them are fixed on there, you know. This is one of the first. I think I may have a few that are adjustable, but most of them are not. So I just kind of think that kind of odd, you know. You have to adjust it. I'm used to not adjusting the back. Usually they come. So the thing I don't like about that, it's, you know, you have to adjust it so then you can be blaming the firearm for your accuracy, and you keep adjusting it until you're satisfied. But, you know, if it comes fixed on there, like on some other firearms I have, you know that the firearm's not the issue. It's you know. But I got to adjust it to work for me. It's pretty accurate, you know. The texture on here is not bad at all. There's no rail or anything to mount a light or anything like that. It's more of a safety gun. You know, it does have the magazine disconnect. I know there's aftermarket triggers that will not work on this because of the magazine safety. But like I said, I don't plan on changing out the trigger for the reason that it works for me. I never had a malfunction with the trigger. I mean, I don't push sideways on the trigger. I just put my finger like that, and I've never had an issue, you know. So, like I said, I wanted to make a YouTube video just because there's a lot of people in California looking to buy this gun, and there's not much YouTube videos out there on there. But I mean, it's a good choice, you know. It's a good firearm. So if you're right-handed, you buy this firearm and you know you're shooting and the slide stays locked back and you still have ammo on your magazine. Just pay attention to that finger, you know. Maybe readjust your grip a little bit and you won't see that issue anymore. But yeah, thanks for watching. You guys can ask in the comments if you guys have any other questions.